They were adored by millions, but carried secrets so foul they left everyone who got close scarred forever. Not just for the black and white film, the timeless glamour, or the generations past, but also for something that whispered behind the camera, wrought behind the gold. Today, we're pulling the velvet curtain back on 5 Hollywood legends with reputations so dazzling, you'd never expect the shattering truth. Clark Gable. To the outside world, Clark Gable was the ultimate leading man. Chiseled jaw, piercing gaze, a mustache that legends were made of. But to those who had to share his air, that legend came equipped with a curse. By the time he was 32, Gable wore full dentures. Not partial, full. A raging gum infection had destroyed his teeth, leaving behind a mouth that became a chamber of decay. The result was something more than bad breath. It was chemical warfare. Vivien Leigh, his co-star in Gone with the Wind, reportedly left set between takes in a daze, so overwhelmed by his breath during their kiss scenes that she said her mind detached. Loretta Young once compared kissing him to kissing a corpse pickled in vinegar. Behind the close-ups and soft lighting, there were crew members nearby wearing nose plugs, a special Gable emergency kit, complete with industrial mints and mints too weak to cut through the stench. But Gable didn't care. He still got the girl on screen. No one ever told the king to freshen his breath. Marlon Brando. There's something tragic about genius when it turns chaotic, and Marlon Brando lived in that chaos. He broke the mold. Then he abandoned it entirely. Brando didn't bathe for days. He arrived on sets in clothes that smelled like they'd been dredged from swamps. During one shoot, he reportedly wore the same underwear for 3 straight months and bragged about it at the wrap party. His co-stars flinched, but Brando smiled. On Last Tango in Paris, he infamously ate blue cheese before love scenes, refusing to brush his teeth. Whether it was protest self-destruction or just habit, no one knew. In Apocalypse Now, director Francis Ford Coppola privately called him a sentient swamp. After filming, his trailer required special waste handling. Furniture was burned. Not thrown out, burned. Cleaning it wasn't an option. He was brilliant. He was broken. And the people who worked with him will never forget the smell of decay that hung around him longer than any of his lines. Tallulah Bankhead. Tallulah Bankhead didn't just dance with madness. She invited it in, poured it a drink, and refused to clean up after. She stormed into every room with the confidence of a queen and the smell of someone who hadn't bathed in weeks because she hadn't. "I never wash," she once declared. "I have an agreement with the dirt." And she wasn't joking. Dressing rooms she used were nicknamed the Swamp. Theater crews had to sanitize spaces after she left. And when she declined underwear, not once or twice, but as a lifelong rule, climbing scenes on film became a crisis. On Lifeboat, Hitchcock didn't know if the issue was makeup, costume, or animal control. But people still adored her, feared her, chased her, even as they recoiled. Tallulah was a whirlwind, magnetic, unclean, unforgettable. Bette Davis. People say brilliance burns. For Bette Davis, it smoked. It choked. She was a force, intense, hypnotic, sharp. But she was also surrounded by a fog of nicotine that never cleared. Davis smoked up to 100 cigarettes a day. Her breath, her clothes, even her skin carried the circling stench of ashtrays long extinguished. Makeup artists developed respiratory issues working around her. Sets were reventilated just to contain the secondhand smoke. Costumes couldn't be cleaned, they had to be disinfected. In The Little Foxes, one director described filming kiss scenes with her felt like licking the inside of a crematorium. It wasn't an insult, it was a survival story. And yet, Davis never flinched. When a young actor once complained about the smoke, her reply was ice cold. "If you wanted fresh air, darling, you should have become a farmer, not an actor." Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner didn't just enchant men. She devoured them. Her beauty was an avalanche and no one survived it. But hiding underneath that goddess glow, something darker, something no amount of perfume could mask. She rarely bathed. She barely brushed. Crew members learned to adjust camera angles to avoid getting too close. One star called kissing her, like diving into last night's leftovers. French perfume covered her real scent like silk robes over moldy plaster. Worse, her sheets in hotels, homes, sets were spoken about in whispers. The stains, the smells, the havoc. Staff requested hazard pay. Even Frank Sinatra, in all his desperation to win her, reportedly installed multiple showers in their home. A quiet plea, but nothing changed. A goddess in the spotlight, a stranger in the daylight. Ava Gardner remained untouchable, which is maybe what saved her, and cursed those who had to touch her. These weren't just actors. They were mythologies in motion, lightning caught on film. But despite their timeless beauty, the truth is sometimes hard to swallow, harder still to smell. In a world built on illusion, they proved one thing: even legends reek. If their secrets left you shocked, disturbed, or just plain fascinated, there's more where that came from. Subscribe for more untold truths from Hollywood's golden age. Because the past may shine bright, but sometimes it still stinks.